Hi, everybody. My name is Sarvendra Radhakrishnan, and I'm the CEO of this venture. We are a team of technology background in cloud AI, and we have launched a lot of products specifically meant for enterprises. We also have deep domain experience in people operations. Now, if you're hiring for software engineers and you could relate to the struggle to identify the right talent quickly, I'm sure you would have heard about having the same situation where you open up a role in a job board and anywhere else, and it takes weeks to get to speak to a particular speak to a candidate, right? What we have identified is this is a common problem across the industry. Now, what we are trying to do here is we are trying to, when we performed customer discovery, we found that the recruiters, despite having all the tools, they still manually screen through all the resumes to identify the fitment. Now, what happens is what we have also observed is it takes about 45% of their efforts in screening, manually reviewing through the resumes, even though they have access to LinkedIn, Dice, Monster, and whatnot, right? We wanted to solve this problem, and this is what we are trying to build, or what we are building in our product. Now, what we have done is we have launched a product which leverages machine learning, which essentially reviews a resume like a human being, and which is our competitive advantage. We are looking to move away from the keyword-based search that's currently existing from a technology perspective. What we are looking to do is how will an engineering manager really review the resume and see if I can bring that human intuition into the machine. That's our USP of what we're trying to build. The benefits based on some of the early pilots that we have done, and obviously we'll talk a little bit more from a case study, is the revenue per recruiter has definitely increased. The candidate onboarding to the interview ratio, which is a key single biggest KPI, is increased. And time to staff KPI has also significantly increased for these guys. Now, from an initial success, let's talk about a case study. We started this program, or we launched this company only a few months back. We had an MVP before we decided to formally launch, right? We worked through that MVP. We wanted to make sure that the AI model is working. It has a relevance, and there is a market fit for the AI model before we start creating a nice UI wrapper around it. So we started off with 4 early adopters way back in February. Now we are looking at around 30 customers who are actually utilizing our platform. And what we are working with them is we are looking at identifying and improving how quickly can we get to the top best candidate within our recommendation system. So as a case study, basically this is what we are working on. We have delivered and recruiter efficiency improvement from say 1.2 closures per recruiter per month. Trust me, that is a very normal industry standard. We are looking at anywhere between 1.2 to 1.7 position or role closures per recruiter per month. That's an industry average. And we have accelerated that by 2.6. In fact, it's more than double now, right? We got a testimonial from one of the customer who's actually doing the same. Now, whom are we selling to? We are selling to, there are 2 different broader set of employers. One is the workforce solution firms who are actually helping with permanent and temporary software engineering staffing across all the different areas, industries. The in-house recruitment firms for startup, enterprise consulting, big tech. We are actually right now in discussions with a couple of VCs to help enable this product so that they can reuse the resumes across their portfolio of companies. That's another area where we're looking at. Now, with the SOM of 22%, which incentivizes us to continue growing in this particular direction and investing further. That's pretty much it from my side. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Arvind. Would you mind just
yeah,
sharing those screens so that we can hear it better? Perfect.
Sure.
And Madam Stephanie, would you like to go first?
Yes. So I don't think you currently generate any revenues, right?
Because we just launched about a month back in a proper UI manner. So in fact, it's less than a month. I'll
Okay,
be honest.
good. So my question is your AI model, is it defensible? Which means, I don't know, have you filed any patent for your AI technology?
Yeah, so what we are right now doing is we intend, rather filing a patent, we rather like to keep it as a trademark or a company secret, because it's like, you don't see Google filing a patent for their search algorithm. So we spoke to quite a few people. They recommended you keep it as a company secret, not file as
your competitive advantage over your competitors then. Your competitors means like LinkedIn or Monster, Indeed.
So they are not exactly our competitor. Very honestly, basically what LinkedIn and Monsters are doing is they are a voluminous source of resumes, right? What we
Kind of
are doing is
indirect competitors, right?
no, we see them as competitions. Ideally, our intention is to connect to the LinkedIn data, Dice and Monster. We are actually talking to Dice and Monster to source the resumes from them. And so that what we will do is the interface that we currently have allows recruiters to upload their job roles in an Excel sheet format. And we pull the data from Dice, Monster, LinkedIn, then we stack rank them and we offer that back to them.
All right, thank you.
And Martin.
Thank you, Arvind, for the presentation. Stephanie actually asked some of my questions, so I will ask this. How is accuracy determined? You said it was an 86% accuracy. Is that in placement? Is that the length of placement? How did you determine that?
So basically the way we did that was we identified the different, basically how the recruiters actually tested our product was, they said, okay, I have 1,000 bunch of resumes. I will send you all my 1,000 resumes to your system. Okay. And I have seen these 10 roles that I know these candidates, at least one of these 10 candidates have onboarded. So what I need you to validate is your product able to identify the candidate that got selected in the top 10 recommendations or top 15 or top 20 recommendations. So the 85% metric is coming in based on if I'm able to identify the candidate within my top 10 or top 15 recommendations. Rest of them, what we have identified is there are outliers, but most likely what happens is they are at least between 20 to 40, maximum between the top 40 recommended resumes that we are offering, the candidates have been selected. But again, that's a very subjective validation simply for the fact that, see, the candidate may not be available, the candidate may not be interested, the job role or that may not match and other things, right? Those are outside of our ability to control.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And Jeffrey.
Thank you for your presentation. There's a lot of literature out there that suggests that a lot of this process can actually have bias. And curious about what you found in your work and how you're working to address that so that it's a tool that does not have bias as current products may.
Correct. And that's a very good point. And I've been chasing and been following Timothy and a lot of these conversations as well, right? So basically the way our model currently works is because it is not built on supervised learning. So I'm not essentially training the resumes, feeding the model by training the resumes. That's number one. So that's one way to eliminate the bias. Secondly, what we are also doing is we are making sure we are not really validating the name, gender, or any of the details in any of our processing. For us, a resume is a resume. The experience is an experience. It doesn't matter whether it's a boy, girl, black, white, whatever. All of those gender biases or any other biases will not be there at all. We will stack rank them not only just based on what they are providing in resumes, but we will also be looking up into their GitHub profiles, identify what type of code is that person written, right? We will analyze that and then we'll provide a recommendation. This particular candidate is a better fit for this particular role because you're looking for deep learning on this particular framework. I know this candidate has done this better. He or she may not have reflected that in his resume, but his or her GitHub profiles confirms the same.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Arvind, for the presentation and Jarvis for the questions.